integrity a moment ago when you said you felt bad for you. Are you being honest right now when you say that you're fine with people killing a baby that's just recently born?
No, like you're not getting my point. I think I sure it is a human. It's a human
So are
being.
you
I
being
just don't
honest?
think it
That's like
deserves
a yes
rights
or no.
until a certain
Yes, I am
stage.
being honest, or no, I'm not being honest.
Yes, I'm being honest.
You're being honest when you say that you think it's completely
Yes,
fine for people to
yes.
kill a
I
baby
go to
that's
Kevin
just recently
University.
born.
Yes, this is a common stance.
Okay,
Yes, I've
well,
answered
then I guess
questions
you're
before.
just
Yes.
too insane for us to speak to. We don't speak to people like that. So yeah, we don't do that over here. We don't mess with people who support infanticide. Define you want another try. See if this guy.
Yeah, hopefully this guy's not a troll.
Let's see.
How old are you?
Hello, I'm 20.
Yeah, you're 20. Are you pro-life or pro-choice?
I am pro-choice.
Okay. Do you have like an argument for why elective abortions are okay?
Well, I think that abortions are okay. I don't. What do you mean?
Okay, when I say elective, I just mean like two consenting adults, healthy mother, healthy fetus, and she wants to get the abortion because maybe not the right time, place, schooling, career, finances, things like that. Like, do you have an argument for why those would be okay?
Well, I don't think that the fetus. And I was looking into this recently. I was doing some research into philosophy, and I don't think that the fetus has a sort of conscious experience.
That's true.
And so I don't think that
up until a certain point, yeah.
I think that it's okay as long as it doesn't have consciousness.
Well, that doesn't follow, right? Like, you're just telling me it doesn't have consciousness, therefore abortion's okay. Because I can agree it doesn't have consciousness and think it's not okay. So how are you like bridging that gap? Like, why, because it's not conscious, can't she get the abortion? Like, can you explain that to me?
Well, I think that if something is not conscious, then you can't like do wrong against that thing.
Why?
If because it doesn't have the conscious. It doesn't have the consciousness.
That's circular.
It's what?
Yeah, like you're using this thing in contention to like prove itself. You're saying it's not wrong to unalive because it's not conscious, because it's not conscious. Like, yeah, like why? Because it's not conscious is it not wrong? You're just saying, well, because it's not conscious.
And what does it mean to be? Well, what is? I don't understand. You said it was a circle, but I don't know what that.
Yeah, like you're just saying it's not conscious, and I say, well, why? Because it's not conscious. Is it okay to unalive it? And yeah, because you can't do wrong things to things that are unconscious. Yeah, like why?
Because
like don't just say because it's not conscious again. Yeah, that'd be circular.
Because I guess it wouldn't be a person.
Okay, what's a person?
A person would be like a sort of conscious being with like awareness and sort of like sort of like awareness and like reactions and things, like they can act and they can do things or sort of something like that, you know.
Okay, so a person is a conscious being that's aware and can do things. That's a person?
Yes.
So like a rat's a person?
A
rat would meet that.
Well, maybe yeah. A rat would, I'd say a rat is a
Rats are people? Like, really?
Well, they would
Nice
be
one, Billy.
they would be
You're a fucking genius.
They would be a person. Yeah, they would be a person because they have a sort of like conscious. They have that sort of conscious that you know, it's kind of in the philosophy literature, and you know,
Nice.
it's kind of what they call like a person. And so yeah, it's like different. It's like a theory where it says that you can't call something a person if it doesn't have this sort of conscious.
I think Paul Draper spoke on this.
Yeah, I don't think that's why, or that's what people are referring to when they say like there's a person.
Well,
right?
it's in the you can. I have evidence for it. It's sort of like I said, it's in the philosophy literature. Like they wouldn't call it a person because it doesn't have that because it doesn't have that like consciousness.
Yeah, it just seems like you're just slapping the label person on, but person is just saying something with consciousness.
Well, I'm
So,
not the one who's doing that. It's the guys who make the articles and
what's your
stuff.
view?
The
What's your view? You're saying they're not conscious.
Well, my
So,
view is that that a person is like a conscious has like consciousness, kind of like it's what philosophy says. Like it's what you have to have consciousness to like be
oh
a
no,
person.
there's different views of what a person is, right?
Well, I don't
Like
think that.
you're just
What, what do you mean? That is the like definition of like a
no. There's not
person.
the definition of person. There's like a bunch of different views of what makes you a person,
I wouldn't.
right?
I would. You have proof that there's like different views.
Yeah, there's like animalist views, there's like soul theories, there's gradualist views, there's a bunch of different views that say you're other things that make you a person, like not just like being conscious. And then a lot of people would say that even just being conscious alone doesn't make you a person because your view commits you to saying like a rat or a bee is a person because it's like
Well,
conscious.
what's so bad about saying that they could be
'Cause-
persons as well?
Yeah, because do you say like women are obligated to persons, right? Like you would say that.
I would say, obligated to persons, to
Yeah, like if they
to rats.
yeah, like would a woman be obligated to like a rat or something? Like if she could gestate a rat, like would she be obligated to it?
I would say no, because I don't think the rat is the same as the human
But it's a
person.
person.
I think
Yeah,
that well, I
it's a
think
person.
that in the philosophy, there's also something called like the phenomenals. There's phenomenals, or like the sort of phenomenal experiences that humans, that I think only human consciousness can have, and not the rat.
Okay,
And so
so you have obligations to humans, right?
yeah, because of the phenomenal
Okay, but it just seems like okay, well then why do you need to be conscious? Like why do you need to be well like if it just seems like what's doing the work there is just like the human part. Like why do you need to be conscious? Because we're not obligated to just things that are conscious. Like
well, there's
simplistic, right?
actually, I think there actually is an answer, if I remember correctly, and it's a really interesting sort of hypothesis where it says, what if your brain was like taken out and put into like a sort of like robot, and you were just told to choose between the robot and the brainless human. And I think that people would sort of choose the robot, because the robot has the phenomenal conscious.
Okay, I'm looking for like why you need to have that for like wrong things to happen to you. Do you have like an argument for that? Because you're saying you can't have wrong things to happen to you if you're not conscious, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, why?
Well, I would say the reason why is because wrong to do something wrong is to do something to someone else, and someone else, eventually you have to describe the someone else.
False.
And
You
what
can't do
false?
something wrong to yourself.
To yourself. I wouldn't say that you can do something wrong to yourself.
So if I choose to believe the earth is flat, I'm not doing myself a wrong. I don't have a wrong belief.
Well, I don't think that fits within the phenomenal experience.
What are you talking about? That is my experience. My belief is a part of my experience.
No, it's okay. It's within the philosophy literature that I was talking about, where it's like the conscious that there's only humans can have the phenomenal experience, and not the rat and stuff. And so that wouldn't that belief wouldn't fit within that.
This guy's so lost. It's genuinely sad, bro.
What?
Unify, go ahead. This guy's just too lost.
Yeah. I don't think I'm getting an answer. Like, I get okay. Maybe I can rephrase this. Do you think consciousness is a necessary condition or a sufficient condition for something wrong to happen to you? And if you don't know what necessary, sufficient, I can like explain those.
Yeah. I know what those mean. Like, it's like
Yeah.
necessary. It's like it's kind of like necessary, like true, and sufficient is like it kind of can it's can true enough. It can be true enough, or something like that.
Not okay. So sufficient just means like it's enough to be granted moral consideration. Like, let's say the ability to feel pain. I could say that's sufficient to say it's like wrong to do something to you. But absent that, there could be other things that could make it wrong. But like, let's say it's necessary, meaning like absent this trait, nothing morally wrong can happen to you. So like, would consciousness be necessary or sufficient for moral consideration?
I think that it would be sufficient. I think that it would just be like, it's good enough that you can have this.
Okay.
And so yeah.
Okay, consciousness is consciousness is sufficient. Well, a pro-lifer could also say it's sufficient. I don't know how that leads you to like a pro-choice conclusion.
Wait, I
Right.
don't
It's like-
think of someone who's like pro-life. I think that they would think that it's necessary. They would be the
No,
opposite.
they would not
be
think
the
it's-
opposite. They would be the opposite of, because pro-life is the opposite of pro-choice.
You're very confused. Okay, a pro-lifer would not think it's necessary because if they were thinking it's necessary, then they can be pro-life. Like, you cannot think consciousness is necessary for moral consideration.
Pro-life is the opposite of pro-choice.
Necessary is
Okay.
not the opposite of sufficient.
He said it was the opposite, that something is either necessary
He
or
literally
sufficient.
just said it's not the opposite. Literally just said the exact opposite of what you're saying. No pun intended.
Okay, so so necessary is okay. So I would still say it's sufficient though.
Okay, then I could also say it's sufficient. A pro-lifer could say it's sufficient. I don't know how that leads you to abortion's okay, because you're saying it's enough to be conscious for it to go on to live you. Then it doesn't seem like you have an argument for life.
for a woman to have the sort of right to her body and stuff.
No. I'm asking, why is it okay to unalive the fetus? And you're saying consciousness because it's not conscious. I'm like, because I can agree with your sufficient condition and come to a different conclusion.
But pro-life and pro-choice are
Jesus.
the conclusion. The conclusion is just like the end of an argument. Like
Dude.
the premises are like the beginning, and then.
Am I like not explaining this clearly? Like,
Well, I thought
don't
I
understand.
explained my view pretty clearly, but
No, I'm saying how it doesn't lead to abortions being permissible
that was
because it's compatible. Okay, like think of it like this. Imagine if a pro-lifer's argument was like, it's human, it's alive, human life begins at conception, therefore abortion's wrong because it's a human life at conception, right? Like, that doesn't follow because it's compatible with both views. Like, both views can agree with like the premises, right, and come to a different conclusion. So you're saying something that I can agree with, right? Like, I also think conscience is sufficient, but still think the abortion's wrong. So if you're just saying conscience is sufficient, then I don't really know how you're establishing abortion's permissible.
well. Okay, well, I'm actually I hold on. I pulled up Google, and
Dude.
I saw what you were talking about earlier, and it's called personal identities.
What are we doing?
You're,
What are
you
what are
well, I was
doing?
talking about consciousness, and it's called personal identities in philosophy, and I would just say that it has to be the best one. That consciousness has to be the best theory.
You just, dude. Okay. Do you see the issue here that I outlined?
What do you? No, I don't see the issue. You asked me to tell you why it's the best.
Okay. Do you think you gave me reasons why abortion's justified?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, and you said because it's not conscious, right?
Yes.
Okay, but I said, why does that matter? And you said, well, you gave me some circular reasoning. So then I kind of progressed the conversation forward and said, well, do you need to be conscious? You said, no, it's just
Well,
sufficient.
I would just say that that what a person is a sort of axiomatic thing, and like axioms, like they can't really be
Can you do wrong
given
things to non-persons?
further.
Can you do a wrong thing? Can you do a wrong thing to a non-person?
No.
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 Okay, what's the argument for that?
It would be, well, that would be the sort of axiom.
Jesus.
That would be the sort
So
of
you don't.
axiom.
Okay. What's the argument that you can't? Okay, so you cannot do anything wrong to a fetus before it's conscious.
No,
Why? What's the argument for that?
because it would be because of what it is, because it's a thing.
Wait,
that
you
doesn't
define it.
have-
Just hit him with like the necrophilia reductio. Like, do you think it's wrong to grape a dead corpse?
I would say yes.
Oh, but it's not a person.
That's a contradiction then.
Unless you think dead corpses are people.
No, I think that it can be wrong for sort of other things.
Yeah, but you said you can't do wrong to a non-person.
I said that you can't do wrong to the non-person by like harm.
Nope, not what you said.
That was exactly what I said.
That's not. You never said the word harm. Why are you gaslighting?
Well, I don't
It's the
think
first
that.
time you said the word harm.
Okay, I don't think that you can do a sort of wrong to a non-person, but in the case of the dead body, I think that there's you sort of utilitarian consequences.
We can just remove all those out.
Remove them?
Yeah.
Wait, you can though, because it's a sort of theory that's like that it's wrong to do it because it would have consequences.
That's the point. If we remove it out and there's still something that's wrong, then the theory is inadequate.
I would just say that there's nothing wrong if you remove that out.
Okay, so necrophilia in a vacuum is morally fine.
I would say yes,
Okay.
because there's nothing saying that it's wrong, so it wouldn't be wrong.
There's nothing saying that it's wrong. It's fine. Just take him to a private island and do your business. Nothing
Well,
wrong.
if there's nothing saying it's wrong, then what's our issue with the sort of morality action that you just put
Well, I'll
forward?
tell you what the issue is. The issue is that your moral theory is inadequate. We could say why it's wrong.
I didn't
on virtue
say a
of X, for
moral
example.
theory. I never said
You did.
that. No, I
You
didn't.
cited utilitarianism, which is a moral theory.
Utilitarianism is a ethical like view that it's a sort of thing that talks about
Is this
why
guy
it's
serious?
wrong. It's talking about why things are wrong.
What do you think a moral theory is?
I don't. What do you mean moral theory? I don't understand what you're.
A theory about right and wrong.
Yeah, it's theories on sort of theorizing why we're wrong and philosophy.
What are you
And
saying right now?
I'm telling you that I've read philosophy and it says that
You haven't
utilitarianism
read philosophy.
is the sort of solution to this, and it tells you why things are right and why things are wrong.
Utilitarianism is the solution to this? How does utilitarianism tell us that necrophilia in a vacuum is wrong? You just said that it's not.
It would say that if there was nothing wrong, if there was no sort of utilitarian consequences, then it
Are you
wouldn't be
listening to
wrong.
anything that's happening, or are you just gonna go back to repeating yourself?
You're not listening to me. What do you mean?
I am. What you're saying is pretty simple. You're saying if there's nothing wrong on utilitarianism, then you can't say that there's anything wrong happening. I agree. And all I'm telling you specifically here is that given the fact that we still intuit that it's wrong, even if it's in a vacuum and there's no societal consequences, your moral theory is inadequate.
Okay.
with
If
respect
you're
to-
hold on, if you're so smart, then why don't you tell me why
I'm way
utilitarianism
smarter
is
than you. It's
smart?
not even funny how much
Then
smarter I am than you.
then
That's right.
then why don't you tell me why utilitarianism is wrong?
I
What
just
else
did.
is what else is there? Is there something
I
else
just.
that you think you can come up with that's better than utilitarianism?
I mean, I just did, but I can just run you through some of the most common objections against utilitarianism, and you can give your best responses.
Okay, then give them, since you're so intelligent, and since you think that you're
Okay.
smarter than
So
the
here's
philosophers
here's.
who talk about this.
I don't think I'm smarter than philosophers. I'm smarter than you. That's like all that's needed for
Well,
this
one of us
conversation.
here
But
has read
according,
the sort of philosophy writings,
I
and one of
agree. One
us
of us has
hasn't.
read that. Yeah, I agree. I agree. One of us has read that. So according to
And that
utilitarianism,
person is not you.
that's funny. I'm glad that you think that. So according to utilitarianism, whether or not somebody's going to be like whether or not somebody's going to be blameworthy for an action or praiseworthy, whether or not some action is going to be praiseworthy is going to be decided on the basis of the consequences that blaming the agent would have had. Okay, so like for example, if you blame an agent for like I don't know, like failing to do something that was maximally good in a certain instance, then it will discourage other people from trying to do that action, which is kind of like where the motivational aspect of at least this view of utilitarianism comes from. And so the objection here is supposed to be something like this: imagine if I am going on a dinner date with my wife, but I know that the money that I'm spending with my wife could be more utility maximizing if I gave my money to charity instead, or gave money to children who were starving in Africa. According to utilitarianism, I've done something immoral by taking my wife out to dinner because I didn't do the maximally, the action that produces the maximal amount of utility. So how do you respond to something like this? It's called the demandingness objection.
Yeah, you did do something wrong. You
So you
did.
think it's wrong for me to take my wife out to dinner instead of giving money to random children in starving countries?
Under what philosophers would say is yes. What
Okay,
the
I
literature
mean
would say
that's
is yes, that you
yeah. I mean
did.
that's clearly gonna be another insane bullet to bite,
Well, then how
and
do
this
you
is
think
actually
that right and
exactly the
wrong
reason
is?
why.
How can right and wrong exist without this? How do you think that it can exist without this?
There's several different competing theories. There's virtue
No, there
ethics. There's
isn't.
deontology. Are you? Why are you so confidently stupid? Like genuinely, you don't know anything about this topic at all. I can tell just from the way you're speaking. If I were to ask you to tell me three things about deontology, you wouldn't be able to. If I were
Yeah,
to
you're
tell
just
you to,
making
if I
up.
were to ask you, if I were to ask you to cite me one philosopher who endorses utilitarianism, you will not be able to. Like, why are you so
Do I need
confidently
to?
stupid? Well, I mean, if you're gonna be pretending like you know what the fuck you're talking about, I would hope that you
I'm
could.
not pretending. I've
So
read the
then, why
actual
are you
literature.
challenging what I'm? Look, when I'm telling you that there's obviously competing theories to utilitarianism, why
Give
is it that
one.
you're like, no, there isn't? Do you
Give
think
one.
utilitarianism is like some unanimously accepted view?
Obviously, it's not going to be accepted by people, by
No, no, no.
like
I asked you if you
fucking
think it's a
morons like
unanimously
you.
accepted view.
But the philosophers agree on
Yeah, do you think it's a
utility.
unanimously accepted view that's going to be a yes or a no?
Obviously not, because there's
Okay,
people like
why is
you.
it not
There's
unanimously
dipshits
accepted?
like you who don't agree with it. But the
Really,
sort of
really.
philosophers.
So what is the argument that you have for utilitarianism, since you think that it's like somehow insane for us to disagree with it?
I told you it's sort of like this sort of axiom where like you can't like
The word is
provide
axiom,
the
idiots. Right
justification
here.
further for it. So like yeah, there would be the
Sorry,
axiom.
what was the argument for utilitarianism?
I said axiom. I don't know what
You didn't say axiom, you said axiom.
I
What's the
said
argument for
axiom. I don't
utilitarianism?
know why you're interrupting me
What's
to
the
say some
argument for
stupid shit.
utilitarianism?
I just told you can't argue for sort of axiom.
Utilitarianism is not axiomatic. It's a normative theory.
Do you think that the people agree with you on this?
Yes. Are you like what?
Can
This
you
guy
name
is
one?
so confident too. Like
Can you
you're such an idiot,
you're
bro.
actually so dumb. Can you name
What do you think an
one?
axiom is?
Can you name one? It's the sort of like thing where like you can't argue for it.
Okay, so do you know the conditions for something to be an axiom?
it would just be like, no, there aren't any conditions.
There aren't any conditions, so I can just arbitrarily assign anything to be axiomatic.
No,
Is that what you're
obviously
telling
you
me?
can't. Obviously you can, because you don't know
So
what you're talking
what do
about.
philosophers have in mind when they say something is axiomatic? Obviously, they have to have some sort of criteria.
They're just
right?
saying that you can't argue for the axiom
No. That's telling me what the axiom is. What is the criteria in mind in order to
Wait,
claim
that
that
did
something
tell
is
you
axiomatic?
the sort of
No, you
yeah.
didn't. You told me what an axiom
It did
is.
answer the
Fine, I
question that you
understand that you're
asked.
telling me what an axiom is.
And
Now I'm asking you to tell me
you're
what the
sort of
criteria is in mind. Look, stop freaking out. Just calm down. Just listen to the question and try your best to answer the question. What is the criteria in mind that philosophers have?
I'm crying.
Which,
You're actually
in
so
order for
dumb.
somebody to make a
You were
claim that
genuinely
something is
the
axiomatic,
dumbest. You were genuinely dumb.
what criteria?
The criteria would the criteria no arguments. That's the criteria.
So
Look,
the
you
criteria for
haven't read
something
a
being
single thing on
axiomatic
this, and it
is
shows.
the criteria for
It
something being
shows compared to
axiomatic. Oh, he's breaking down completely now. Are you okay? So the criteria for something being axiomatic apparently is that there's no argument.
yes, that's the point. Is that you can't sort of argue for the axiom. Yes, that's the point. Is that you can't sort of argue.
This guy is genuinely too stupid, bro.
Oh, dude.
Bro, I just don't get it. Like, where do they get the confidence from?
Oh, dude.
This guy could barely pronounce a 4-letter word. Axiom. It's an axiom, guys. Utilitarianism. It's an axiom.
You were asked them what a utilitarian.
Yeah, you were asking. It's an axiom.
It's crazy that he didn't know one of the most like common objections is that it's like really demanding, right? Because doesn't Peter Singer, didn't he do kind of like a lecture where he stood up in front of a bunch of people and he said, well, like we're all terrible people, right? Because we essentially don't like, I don't know how to say it in any way, like utility max. Like we waste our money on certain things when we could be maximizing the overall pleasure of other people, right? And we like waste our money, right? So we're all terrible people. But that's like obviously too demanding, right? And obviously highly unintuitive because we all have individual lives to live, right? And if you live your life in a state of constantly doing for others, you won't ever be able to like live your own life, right? It's kind of like this. I don't know how to explain it. It's really unintuitive, but it's crazy he didn't even know that, right? That's common. That's like a common objection.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right. This is like the first objection that you hear against like the most bare bones version of utilitarianism. Of course, there's like sort of different formulations of utilitarianism that are aimed to get around this objection specifically, but where I pull from is Bernard Williams' sort of formulation of it more specifically when he talks about the over demandingness objectionability between like sort of the projects that gives an agent's life meaning versus like the responsibility that they have, which is going to be attached like to those projects. And so like the sort of idea of like negative responsibility that utilitarians want to employ is something which is just too demanding for the average person, just considering like the sort of projects that they have in life. Like you have a family, you have a wife, you have kids to tend to, you don't always have the means to like be maximizing all the possible good outcomes, right? That was the idea. So
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, you just didn't get it. But I think that's probably it. We've been live for almost 2 hours now, so we're probably gonna call it for now. But thank you guys for coming up. Braden, you are now a guest in my panel now, so you're free to join anytime. If you ever see me live and you want to call us, just join. I've made you a mod already.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I like your style, so I'm definitely gonna keep you around. But thank you, Link, for joining as well, brother. I still see whatever the fuck this picture is. This picture of this green